We're recording this session through the virtual room. This semester, a lot of your classes you'll find are conducted in the virtual environment. But it is nice to be in a lecture theatre, I've got to say. I don't know about you, Katie, but I realised this is the first time I've been in a lecture theatre since August last year, because we were sent off campus right at the start of semester. So we'll hope that that doesn't happen again. One of the ways in which we're going to mitigate that happening is by maintaining masks and safety glasses in labs and so on. But you'll meet all those protocols in your first week. So welcome. Very good to see all of you. There are some people in the room with me today. There are some people looking down the mic, so down the camera, that are in the virtual room with us. So if I'm looking up here and I'm not looking at the camera and I'm out of view, I apologize to those at home. Hopefully you are here to talk about environmental science. So my name is Adrian Dusting. I'm a lecturer here. I will meet most of you in first semester, I have no doubt, in the classroom, but I'm also the program director for environmental science. We also have the lovely Dr. Katie Cohen down the front here, who is our moderator for today. You will also meet Katie. Do you want to say hi? Or?
Good evening as well, because I am convening of concepts, so the name is not really a face to the name actually, we've got half a face to the name. So feel free to email me at any time, and looking forward to seeing you in person on campus, in classes. So
excellent.
Nice to meet you all.
So for those that might not have caught it because it's going through my microphone, Katie is the convener of biological concepts, which most of you are programmed to take in first semester. We're going to go through some information slides today. They're somewhat dry, but they are here for your information. They're written by someone who I suspect didn't realise that university is an incredibly exciting experience, and that this day is where it kind of all starts for you, where the world will open up. So it's info for you to refer to later, rather than me going through point by point everything that's on these slides. It's kind of who to contact in what scenario, rather than you needing to take notes or memorize it all now. This will be posted on Canvas. For those of you who are not already familiar with Canvas, we'll run through what that is in a bit. I do like to begin, though, as always, with an acknowledgement of country. I'd like to acknowledge the Ngunnawal people, who are the traditional custodians of the lands upon which the University of Canberra is based, and the lands upon which I live and I work. I wish to acknowledge their continuing culture and pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging, and extend that respect to any First Nations people who are in the room or listening to the recording. First of all, we'll start with a welcome from the Dean, the Executive Dean of our faculty, who is keeping very COVID safe and saying hello via video. I'll just hit play and we'll pray that this works as you always do. Lovely.
I'm Professor Jenny Deacon, the Technology. I'd like to start by knowing all people as students from which I look at their and
I think that's fair to say that's not Janine at her best. So instead, perhaps I'll encourage you to follow up and watch that video when I post these slides on the Canvas site. I'll also post the YouTube link directly so you can follow it up there. Yes, thank you, Janine. All right, so it's nice to know to whom you're talking. So just as a quick introduction, I'm Dr. Adrian Dusting. That's not actually a photo of me. That's a snail. First lesson in biology, right, Katie? That is my finger, though. And this photo appeared during my PhD research in the Canberra Times, like paper. And I had a few colleagues ring me up the next day. Instead of saying congratulations or asking me questions about my research, I'm just keen to point out that my cubicles are in poor condition. So if you want to know anything about my research, please feel free to come up and chat to me about that at any stage. Likewise, most of the academics around you are active researchers, whether it be in education or their particular fields that they studied during their PhD. Go and have a chat to them about it. Most cases, in my case, maybe it'll send you to sleep, But in most cases, it's invigorating, it's exciting. These people are the world leaders in what they do. So make sure you go and have a chat to your academics. I am a lecturer. I teach various units, so physics, data analysis, the diversity of life and habitats, all of which you'll be taking in your first year. So we will get to know each other pretty well. I apologize for that in advance. I'm also a program director, so that's the capacity in which I'm here today. This means that I have oversight over the environmental science degree. We are also at the moment teaching some forensic studies units that are in what we call teach out, so they won't be on offer for many years to come, but I'm program director of forensics as well. I'm happy to chat if my door is open. Well, my door is always open except when it's closed, and if it is open, you're very welcome to come in and say hi. But I do tend to be a bit busy running between things, so it's best to email me first. And that is, the email I've got up there is actually for our education team. If they need, they can usually help you much quicker than I can in the first instance. If it's something a bit trickier, then they might send it on to me. But yes, always happy to say hi. So please stop me and say hi whenever you see me around. Some contacts within the faculty. Okay, so at the very tippy top, we have the Executive Dean, Janine Deacon. That's her in the beanie there. The Associate Dean is Associate Professor Tamsin Kelly, who is apparently here. Tamsin, would you like to say hello to everyone? I can put you on the big screen.
Yes, I am lurking. Hi, everybody. Apologies, I couldn't be there in person. Not feeling 100%, so did the advice of staying home when feeling unwell. But thanks to the wonders of technology, I'm saying hello from a balcony. I just wanted to quickly say welcome to you all. Very excited to have you studying your degree in the Bachelor of Science, Environmental Science. This is a brand new science curriculum that we're launching this year, which we're very excited about. And it's fantastic to have you participating in it. As Adrian has already said, he's the program director, but I'm sure we'll be seeing many of your faces as we do on-campus activities over the next couple of years. I'll hand back over to Adrian, but welcome.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Tamsin. So I don't, this is remiss of me, but I didn't actually pop Luke Newenhone up on the board as well. He is the Assistant Associate Dean of Education. And, pardon, I'm on the wrong screen. And we have a Head of School of Science, who's Tariq Azaz. Tariq didn't have a photo up on the staff directory, so I haven't popped him up there, but you might see Tariq around in some of your classes as well. Truth be known, though, this is the executive. All going well and smoothly during your course, you probably won't actually interact with these people in this capacity. You'll have them in the classrooms for sure, especially in your more advanced units, but you probably won't meet them in these capacities for the most part. People you will be speaking to, however, are the program directors. So I'm a program director in science. My counterpart is Hilary Coleman, who takes care of the biomedical and medical science degrees for the most part. Hilary is also another option if you don't wish to speak to me. That's fine. There might be a reason that you don't like the look of my eyes or something. That's fine. She'll be happy to speak to you in my stead. As I say, I take care of environmental and forensic science students. And we also have Mr. Michael Sidney, who is Assistant Program Director and First Year Science Student Coordinator. Michael also convenes professional orientation science, which a lot of you will be taking this semester as well. The first contact point, though, is that same email address I popped up on the previous slide. They're just kind of your go-to central point within the faculty, and they'll be able to direct you to where you need to go. Okay, so if you remember one email address, remember that one. The other people you talk to about more general concerns to do with your enrollment, to do with fees, to do with on-campus activities, whatever it might be, are Student Central. Their email address is here, student.center, and their other contacts are up there as well. The other thing that I will draw your attention to on this slide, because holy moly, there is a lot of content here, is the consent matters in the bottom right-hand corner. This is a module that you all need to complete before you finish your course. I encourage you to do it straight away. It's a really important one. There are a few little modules you need to do in order to pass your course. in addition to the normal units and studies that you'll be doing. And consent matters is one of those. So student center for your general university concerns, the education teams, SciTech student inquiries for your specific concerns about science or the faculty. For the most part, we expect you to be managing your studies in terms of your progress through your units, what you need to be studying next semester, what you need to be enrolled in, what majors you want to end up in. We, of course, will help you with that. We're here to advise you. We're here to help out with tricky situations. But for the most part, as a baseline, we expect you to manage it. I'll give you some pointers for where you need to start with all this towards the end of this talk. But you should also be managing it through reading the background materials in the digital handbook. Now, this will tell you the typical study plan that you need to go through as students of environmental science. Can I just have a quick hand check, actually? Who actually is enrolled in the Bachelor of Science, Environmental Science? All of you. That makes it so easy. Excellent. I am very happy to talk to people who want to just take environmental science units from outside. That's perfectly fine way to go, but it does make it easy when I'm talking about typical study plans to know where you're all from or what your background is. Okay, excellent. So there's lots of information up on the digital handbook for in general, how your course should run and what it should look like for you. If you do need to individualize your course plan, you can come for course advice. Your first port of call there should be this Canvas site. This Canvas site is where I have posted a typical study plan. It's where you will find links to what each unit involves within the typical study plan. It's where you'll find all sorts of generic information. I would say 98% of you will be able to, I love made up statistics like that, nearly all of you will be able to answer any questions you have by yourself simply by reading through the content on this Canvas site. If it's tricky, you have a unique situation or you don't understand something, then hit up that SciTech student inquiries email address again. They'll be able to help you out. Okay, so let's go through, a few more things, administrative things first. If you need to communicate with the university, as I say, you'll probably be going to Student Centre first for general concerns, SciTech student inquiries for specific concerns. In all cases, you should please make sure that you use your UC email address. And it'll look something like that. Hopefully yours isn't full of X's, but full of numbers. Most of you will have a number that starts with U323 or 322, something like that. Please use that email address for all correspondence. There are some things as unit conveners, as program directors, as administrators that we can only talk to you through about through a verified UC account. Okay, so I know that if a student emails me and asks for an extension on an assignment, I will have to always reply and say, please resend this email through your student account. Okay, as you'd expect, we don't want to be talking to other people or people we don't know about your grades, about your fees, about things like that. Okay, so just keep it simple and just use your UC email address. Canvas site. Anything that we email to your email address, or post on the Canvas site, we assume you've read. Okay, so as part of your enrollment, you agree to that. You're agreeing that all communications that we send to you, from that point onwards, we can assume that you've read them and understood them. You should be, who has been on Canvas already? Okay, so most but not all of you, that's fine. You should automatically be able to gain access to Canvas. It is also referred to as UC Learn. In fact, I think that's officially what we call it, isn't it? I think Canvas is the software, but UC Learn is what we call our iteration of it. Within Canvas, you will arrive at a dashboard like this, and then you will have a tile that links to different, courses, as they're called up there. So the first one in my Canvas, on the top left there, is my unit for first semester, contextual physics with mathematics. Who's already enrolled in that? Excellent, this is good. But you will also be automatically enrolled in the academic integrity module. Like consent matters, that's another one that you need to complete in order to complete your course. You'll also be enrolled in the School of Science Information and Course Advice, I think is the end of that page. That's the one I popped up the link to before. It tells you what your study plan should look like, tell you what a unit is, tell you, and it has all those links and information. So Canvas is really the information hub for each unit. You will submit your assignments through your unit's Canvas page. You will be communicated to by your convener through your unit's Canvas page. That's where you'll find your lecture notes, links to your actual lecture recordings. Pretty much everything that we don't say to you in class goes through Canvas. Okay, so get well and truly familiar with that, please. Just pretending that I've clicked on that rightmost tile there, the School of Science Information and Course Advice Canvas site. I mentioned this before, I won't go into it. The link's there for you to use. This is where you find all these links to all the information you could possibly need about your course. Study skills. Okay, so study skills are a group that provide services to students to help them brush up on particular skills. So in some cases, your lecturer may even refer you to, I keep saying lecturer, but we're not actually giving many lectures these days, are we? Teachers, classroom staff, the teaching team, there we go, may refer you to study skills. That's not an insult. It's not necessarily that your work is deficient in some way. It's just some complementary skills you might need to work on. So it might be help with English or with essay writing or with computational stuff. So we have, in addition to the ones listed on the board here, we also have support sessions specific to mathematics and to statistics. And so you might find that you need to go to study skills and get a little bit of help with those skills. And that's a really good way to do. Really good way to go. For the most part, they are based in the library. And so after we talk today, get familiar with campus, wander around a bit, have a look at them, get the maps out, familiarize yourself with where the library is and with the student resource center is. I'll show you that as well in a minute. So they can help with lots of things. I encourage you to revisit these slides and see what might be useful for you. In particular, however, I will draw your attention to PALS, the peer-assisted learning sessions, not leaning sessions. Study skills needs to run a proofread over that one. These are PALS is where we have students that have done the unit that you are currently undertaking in a previous year, and they have kicked goals. They are students that have done very, very well in the unit and who are competent in terms of communication and helping other students. Okay, so it's not run by us, it's not run by the academics, it's not run by the teaching team, it's run by students for students. And it's students that can directly tell you about their experiences in the unit and help you brush up where necessary. Okay. Is there anything I should add about PALS in particular?
I don't think so. So biological concepts, I'll be making an announcement today about PALS.
Okay, so excellent, thank you. So for biological concepts, Katie's going to make an announcement about the timetable for PALS. So as I say, they're peer-assisted learning sessions. They run particular sessions at particular times for particular units. And not every unit has PALS. So physics has PALS, biological concepts has PALS. A lot of you will be doing chemical foundations. That has a PALS session. Other units where you need help, such as data analysis in science, you would go to MASH. Okay? MASH is Maths and Stats Help, and they have drop-in sessions, okay, where you can just make a time and drop in and ask away. But as I say, there's a great variety of resources out there for you. There are also health and wellbeing services. So the medical and counselling services are open for, well, to be honest, they're open to the general public, but they're they're almost like a dedicated, the services they do run include dedicated student services where you are bulk billed, okay? And a lot of the counselling services, I believe you can actually get bulk billed access to as well. So make sure you're taking advantage of those resources while you're on campus. There is also student wellbeing, previously known as student welfare, is that correct? So they're located in Student Central as well. They can help you out whenever you're feeling like you might need a little bit of help with issues outside of the classroom. Okay, so it's not in the purview of your unit convener, but you're feeling worried or anxious about something in your broader life that you might think is affecting your studies in some way. That's when you hit up Wellbeing, and they can help you out and point you in some useful directions. Their assistance also is quite broad. If you're find yourself in the point where you're in financial difficulties that are affecting your studies, they can help you out. If you find that you have grievances with the way that something has gone down in your unit, in your study, then you go and talk to Wellbeing as well. They can help with advice and advocacy. Okay, so please make sure you're using those services as well. Then there's a whole raft of specialized services. Careers UC, inclusion and engagement. This team will help you if you've got ongoing health conditions. You meet with them in a confidential way. They will come up with a plan to help assist you with your study. What we then get as academics is a list of ways in which we can help you. And we don't need to know anything about the underlying condition, the health condition. We just are given a list of ways in which we can assist you. Okay? So if you think you might be in that boat, then please go and talk to Inclusion. International students, Ngunnawal Centre, Student Advocacy, Food Pantry. These are all worthwhile things to familiarise yourself with. I should say up there is also the SciTech education team and your academics. We're not all aloof and stuffy. In fact, very few of us are, and we are all indeed actually human. So please do, if you have concerns, don't hide, don't wait for us to come and find you. There are a lot of you. So please, if you have concerns, come to us. Put your hand up and let us help you. Okay. Student mentor program. These are, well, as it says in the name, student mentors. Okay, so they hang around in cool white t-shirts. You'll see them around. They are current undergraduate students like yourselves. They've gone through what you're about to go through, and they can help you out. I encourage you to go and get a student mentor. I referred before to the Student Resource Centre. I believe this is open to all students. It does tend to be dominated by science students though. So if you like our home outside the classroom. We are currently in building 2. We've got the concourse, the grassed area and the paved area running down the middle of the university. That arrow there points to the entrance in that top left corner to the Student Resource Centre. Now, unhelpfully, that white sign saying Student Resource Centre is no longer up there, but I guarantee you that that door doesn't take you to Narnia, it takes you to the SRC. Make use of that. That's a communal space. You can sit around. You can have group study sessions there. There are bunches of textbooks and other resources lined up. Apparently, you can eat in there too. But that's fine. Consider joining a student society. Student societies provide extra opportunities outside the classroom. They foster interactions within UC and outside UC. They promote volunteering. They promote paid work opportunities. They run activities like field days, workshops. They bring in guest speakers. They have social gatherings, of course, as well. They tend to be aligned with particular study areas. So we have here forensics, environmental and biomedical societies, but they are open to all students regardless. That's just kind of their interest area rather than being for and only for those particular students. In particular, you guys, I very much would encourage, I would say, expect that you would sign up for the Environmental Science Society. I would, yes, as I say, I recommend you do that. And I also didn't mention UC Swiss in there, which is supporting women in STEM, as the name implies. They are also open to all members. Okay, so I thought I would quickly run through how it all works, I guess. What are a few of these terms that I've just been throwing around willy-nilly, units, degrees, what do they actually mean? And we're going to start from the very beginning. It's a very good place to start. Do people know what I'm talking about when I say a major? Put your hand up if you know what I mean when I say a major. Okay, maybe a unit. Yep, some people are pretty good about that. Okay. So, first of all, the teaching periods. There's 2 main teaching periods a year. Most of you will do semester 1 and you'll do semester 2. Most of you will do 4 units within each semester. There is a winter term as well. which is a shorter semester if you like, only runs for 8 weeks with some examination at the end, whereas the others run for 13 weeks, plus a couple of weeks of examination period. So what is a unit then? Who knows what this is in the top right corner? Wants to tell me? What are they? Yeah, they're the base units, the scientific units, SI units. Does anyone know what each of them stands for? What's kg? Kilos. M? Meters. S? Seconds. A? Here's where it gets interesting. No, amps, amperes, very good. K? Kelvin, so temperature. MOL. Moles, yep. And CD, this is the one that people stumble on. Fredo frog to anyone who gets it. Candela. Candela. So candela is a unit for, I guess, luminosity. All right. So anyway, they're not the sort of units I'm talking about now. A unit is basically a specific subject. So a lot of you are enrolled in biological concepts, as we've said. Biological concepts has an identifying code on the bottom here, 11722. A lot of the time, you'll find that we end up just for shorthand referring to units by their code. Not a big deal. You can look them up pretty easily. And truth be known, are you guys aware that you are the first enrollees in a brand new course? So we had a Bachelor of Environmental Science up until the end of last year. You guys are the newest and first students in the brand new course, which means that we have new codes. So we're also learning them at the same time. Each unit is usually a semester long, and it is usually worth what we refer to as 3 credit points. So technically at the end of your degree, you don't complete a certain number of units or a certain number of years or anything like that. You complete a certain number of credit points. So biological concepts is worth 3 credit points. At the end, you need to have 72 credit points. Okay, so that's a unit. As a quick aside, most other universities will call what we call a unit, they will call a course. But when we refer to a course here, we're talking about effectively your degree. Okay, it's the course you complete to finish up with a degree. Right? So yeah, that's a unit. A major. So a major is where we take 8 of those units and compile them in a set that progresses from foundational studies right through to high level, level 3 studies. They are designed in order to be composed of 24 credit points, which, as I say, usually 8 units. You can think of a major, I guess, as your specialization. This is where you've really kind of sunk your teeth into a topic. You guys, for the most part, will not be completing minors. However, there are some minors still hanging around from our old offerings. And just for your reference, a minor is usually 12 credit points. As I say, most of you guys in here will course complete without doing a minor. Okay, you will do 2 majors and potentially 3. For the most part, you will do 4 units, so 12 credit points per semester. Each unit is usually designed to be a workload of 150 hours. Okay, so that is a combination of the time you'll spend in class, the time you'll spend doing readings and things like that, and the time you'll spend preparing assignments and doing other revision. So 150 hours is roughly equivalent to our 3 credit points. Okay, so the Faculty of Science and Technology. I'm going to start broad with our we've done the university. We're now going into our Faculty of Science and Technology, and then we'll go into the School of Science. We'll get more specific. So I don't really know what they do in technology. I assume it looks a little bit like this. That's not true. We know a lot about what we do in technology, because one of the advantages of being Faculty of Science and Technology is we integrate a lot of what we do with what technology does, which is really awesome. The top there, you know they're scientists. They're looking at blue liquids. She's looking down a microscope. He's got safety glasses on. You know they're scientists. There's actually a study recently done a couple of years ago now. It said that your science is more likely to be taken seriously. I'm not allowed to wander away, am I? Your science is likely to be taken more seriously if you look the part, which is incredible, isn't it? But anyway, you will be wearing apparatus like this. In fact, in practical classes this year, you must be wearing a mask and you must be wearing safety glasses. right? And that's actually a COVID requirement rather than a general safety requirement. All right, so you'll be doing plenty of this for sure, but you'll also be out in the field, you'll be splashing around in streams, you'll be in actual workplaces getting a taste for what you love. Within the School of Science, you can study a range of things. This person's branching out and looking at red liquids, but we have a lot of biomedical scientists and medical scientists in the school. As I say, we've got forensic studies, which is currently in Teach Out, and you guys have made the correct choice and are looking at environmental science. Quick declaration of bias. My PhD was in freshwater science, so I definitely have a bias towards that. Our course is designed to get you out in the field, so you'll be doing what we refer to as work integrated learning and field trips a lot. And this is a lot of experiential learning, so practical, hands-on learning. These are actually all photos from field trips I've been on or taken classes on as well. You get to do some cool things. So this year we'll be taking groups out to do Cozy to Coast. So you come out Kosciuszko, spend a weekend driving down to the coast, stopping and looking at different ecosystems on the way. We take a group out, we spend a week in Willandra, so Western New South Wales in the arid zone, and have a look at what's kicking around out there. Most of you will be getting into field trips in second year. Okay. That said, meeting environmental challenges foundations, the first semester, you should hopefully get you out in the field a few times. Here are some people walking and talking at work. You will also need to do some work integrated learning throughout your course. In particular, draw your attention to the fact that you need to do professional placement, sorry, oh, it slipped my mind. PP2 in first semester of your final year. This is where you'd go and do an internship. A placement externally outside of UC in a workplace. Some of you might do a research project on campus if that tickles your fancy and you like the idea of doing research in the future. But either way you go, you will be actually going out and doing some work in a workplace or a research lab. I encourage you to start thinking from now where you might like to do your placement. Ultimately, it is the student's responsibility to find their placement. We help as much as we can. I would start ticking over in your brain where you might like to do a placement. Okay, I think finally, I'll go through your actual course. As I said, this is a new course, and it is composed of three main components. I'll list them first and then I'll bring them up on the screen. You will do a core major in science. Okay, so you'll do a core major where you go through 4 foundational units that lay down the more basics, if you like, in biology, chemistry, physics, and data analysis, which I should remember because I'm the convener for. And you will also do 4 professional units. I mentioned professional practice 2 just now, but you will also be doing professional orientation from day dot. Okay, day 1 you'll be doing professional orientation. Then you'll go into professional practice 1 in second year and through to professional evidence in your final semester. The idea there is that you're getting exposed to real life applications of the science you're learning as you're going. You're learning professional skills, soft skills, and all those kind of necessary stuff to make you really job ready by the time you leave us at the end of year 3. So that's your core major. You will also be doing a specialist major in environmental science. I've highlighted those ones in green. These are non-negotiable. These are the 8 units you will take in order to complete a Bachelor of Science, Environmental Science. The balance, the last 8 units that you will take, which is scattered throughout your study, I've popped in there as open electives. You can choose any units you'd like to fill those 8 spaces. Some of you might be interested in compiling those 8 into what we call a breadth major. So have a look around the university and see if there is a major on offering that tickles your fancy. And you can compile that into, as I say, your breadth major. Some of you won't want to do that. Some of you want to keep it flexible, keep it open and just do a unit here, a unit there. You really want to do the history of ice cream or the, Stone Age computing or whatever it might be, basket weaving from across the campus. Go and have a look at what individual units are out there, and you can compile those into an open elective, into open electives. that don't amount to a major or a collection, and that's perfectly fine. Okay. The two majors you do need to end up with, though, are the core major in science and the specialist major in environmental science. Now, one very important thing I want to draw your attention to is that in the top right-hand corner there, I've put in chemical concepts, 11724. Chemical concepts does not have a prerequisite, but it does assume knowledge of year 11 and 12 chemistry. Have a read now, right now, after this session, of the requirements for chemical concepts. If you feel that you do not have that assumed knowledge, then I encourage you very strongly to take chemical foundations in semester 1. Okay, the unit code for chemical foundations, sorry, it's not on the slides, is 11768. Okay, chemical foundations will catch you up from a basis of no chemistry to where you need to be at the start of chemical concepts. If you're in that boat, please have a look at doing that unit, 11768. Chemical foundations is offered in semester 1. If you take that unit, you'll just shift professional orientation into semester 2. Okay. You can also do chemical foundations in our winter term, so between semester 1 and semester 2. That's also an option. The catch there is that that's one of your 8 open elective units. So that will mean at that point you're not able to compile a breadth major. Okay, you'll have to go through the option of putting together individual units. If you're confused about that, please download the typical study plan from that Canvas site and have a read through the material I've put up there. Okay. This is here for your reference. To be honest, this is just a summary of those contacts we've put up. I've put up throughout the slideshow. You can feel free to follow SciTech online. Do you have any, well, actually, to be honest, if you have any specific questions, find me immediately after this. We are now going to go for a tour of Building 27, where most of your labs will be held, including the ENVIROScience labs. So we're going to go do that. I'll walk over with you. Please hit me up if you've got any questions then. Before we do that, Katie, are there any questions through the virtual room? Okay, excellent. Okay, thank you very much. I'll head out through that door. I will be out there in a second and you can ask away.